Good afternoon, everyone. Daniella Cruz here. Sorry I haven't made a video in a couple days. I've been extremely busy at work, getting ready for my last week of work, and then I go on vacation. So, let me just give you a little rundown. I probably will make a video or two. I don't like going in the dark, as they call it, on social media for a long period of time. So you will probably see a video. Again, I'm going to the beach, Hampton Beach. Can't wait. I also am going to my concert at the Mohegan Sun Hotel and Casino to see Demi Lovato and Nick Jonas in concert. And the rest of the time on my vacation, I'm just going to enjoy not going to work like anyone would. Um, so that's what I've been up to last week or so. Uh, I've actually got some news that I wanted to share with you guys. Um, how do I say this? I always try to find interesting topics to talk about, whether they pertain to me or they pertain to somebody I know or something like that. So one thing that I was reading on the internet lately is the amount of people who are transgender that commit suicide. It's a very, very sad thing because I know for myself, at times I got to that point, like where I was like, I don't want to live anymore. I am having trouble with being transgender. I'm having trouble having people judge me and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to lie that I've tried to commit suicide before. I've cut myself. I even tried to hang myself once. And this was more of when I was in, denial about being transgender. The hanging myself was. That was in college years ago. But I actually cut my wrist this past winter when I was dealing with a very stressful issue. But going back to other people committing suicide, I read these articles or I see the newscast about, someone so young, like the age group of people committing suicide is like people in high school. And what I've noticed is that there's a little bit of difference about when you're transgender in high school. When you're transgender in high school, like you have to think about something that we're still maturing. A lot of us in high school are immature, which is fine because that's the time we're allowed to be immature. And then when you get to college, it's like someone's transgender or someone's gay. It's like it doesn't matter. No one cares, kind of thing. I mean, you get some people who care and make a big deal out of it, but so like reading these articles, first of all, I want to give out, I want to say to the families of anyone who's had a transgender loved one take their own life. I feel for you. I'm sorry that you lost your loved one. I'm involved with a lot of organizations. Whether it's donating or trying to volunteer. And one of the organizations that I fell in love with years ago was Love is the Movement. I don't know if anyone heard it. I actually am wearing one of their bracelets today here. You can get these at Hot Topic. You can get them on their website, eBay, Amazon. Didn't mean to plug for them, but there you guys go. But anyways, they're a great organization. And if you don't know about it, it's actually Girls Against Suicide. Now, just because it's girls doesn't mean it can't be, boys. Doesn't mean it can't be, gay, straight, lesbian, transgender, all that. And with everything that's been going on with these, kids committing suicide, it made me think. Now, where I work, my work is important. Granted, I only do housekeeping. I make the place look nice and clean. But I've always liked doing that kind of work that, has some like effect, or you're changing someone's life or you're making the world a better place. So I actually have been thinking about it, and actually I'm gonna I put a call into the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and I'm going to be taking a course so that I can be one of the people that answers the phone and you talk to and say, hey, I'm having a rough day, and maybe we can come up with a solution of why you're feeling upset, or so you don't get to that point where you feel like suicide is the only way out. Now, I don't want to be hypocritical or anything like that, because I've tried to take my own life. Now, some people will say, oh, suicide's the easy way out. They don't want to deal with the problem. They're just going to take the easy way out. I can say that's not true at all. Because some people who commit suicide, they just get to that point in their life where they can't do it anymore. And it's kind of like, someone put it like this when I talked to them once about it. Committing suicide, from like, if you're depressed or you're anxious or you just feel helpless, it's not taking the easy way out. It's kind of like, the way they explained it was, well, from their perspective anyways, was like, think of somebody who has cancer, okay? Let's say it's really a bad cancer and you're never going to recover from it. You've tried every treatment, you've found every doctor, and it's just, you're never going to recover from it. But, like, I mean, did they have medicines and, techniques and skills that can help you with depression and anxiety? Yeah. However, some people, it just doesn't work for them. And, so they come to the conclusion that if I'm not going to get any better, like, my depression's never going to go away, or I'm never going to feel good, or I'm always going to be, like, anxious, and they want to kill themselves. I'm not saying go do it. That's not what I'm saying at all. But some people just get to the point where they can't do it anymore. And that's really sad, because, I look around at the transgender community, and I've made a lot of friends, a lot of real friends, and I can pick up the phone and say, hey, this happened today. Like, someone made fun of me because of the way I was dressed today, or somebody made a comment at me, like, I've been, people either call me Daniella, or they call me Danny. Somebody decided, to call me Danny the tranny, and I hate that word. It just sounds wrong, and it just sounds dirty, so I don't like it. But, could I have easily gone home and said, you know what, they called me Danny the tranny, I'm going to kill myself tonight? Yeah, could have. That could have pushed me right over the edge. And that's the sad part, is that, words are so, once they're out, you can't take them back. So, if you're somebody who's, struggling with depression or anxiety, and you feel like you're going to get to that point, don't hesitate to call this National Suicide Hotline. Do not hesitate to call a friend and just vent. Do not hesitate to call the police or call the hospital. Do not hesitate to call, you can call pretty much anyone. I even will say here, you can, message me on YouTube. Eventually I'm going to put my email on here for you guys. I just want to see how these videos do, and, like, if you guys like them or not. I mean, I'm going to continue making the videos all through my transition. But, like, I really don't want to see another person commit suicide because of being transgender and the pressures of life, at home or in school or at work. I mean, I know it's going to happen. Like, sometimes we can't avoid that. But, I want to try to save as many lives as we can. One thing that I always had a dream about is that I've heard people who are transgender actually either getting kicked out of the house or they run away from home because they're scared. I've always had this kind of fantasy / dream where I had a big house, and I invited transgender people in, and we do all the things that transgender people like to do, and we just have a good time living a life in this house. And, some people I've talked to about it, they're like, oh my god, that's really cool. It's amazing that you think that way. And, again, I really am saddened by the people who took their lives because society was so hard on them. And for the people that make it hard for people who are transgender, you know, I hope that if someone you know who's transgender committed suicide, either by a comment you said or by somebody else, or you didn't step in or do something, I want you to take a minute and reflect on that. Because, you know, I'm not blaming you, but I'm kind of saying, you know, you had the voice of change. You know, if you have the voice to be discriminative and disrespectful and hurtful, then you also have the voice of change. So, you know, I look around and I see all these wonderful people. Because I'm not taking anything away from people who are, you know, the classic straight person, but I feel like we as transgender people are like the realest people out there. We will always be honest with you. We'll be your best friend. We'll always be there for you. You know, so, you know, instead of hating us so much and being discriminative, get to know us. Get to know the culture a little bit and understand us before you go and make a judgment. I hope you guys like this video. Like it, subscribe to it, comment on the video, and I will see you guys later. Have a great day.